Tom King.
The cookie told me so.
Desserts aren't always right.
But they're so sweet.
Christian Arcand.
What makes you the authority, brah?
Christian and King.
I know what the goodies.
Welcome to the Goody Room.
Weekdays noon to 3 on ESPN New Hampshire Radio. Streaming live on ESPNNewHampshireRadio.com.
So what? So what? So let's dance.
Now, here's Christian Arcand and Tom King.
Well, good afternoon. Christian and King here, ESPN New Hampshire, streaming live on the ESPN radio app and on ESPNNewHampshire.com. Nice to have you with us today. I'm Christian Arcand, alongside an exasperated Tom King. Hello, Tom. How are you? What's the matter, bud?
Banks.
Banks.
I hate banks. They take your money. They don't keep your money. They take your money.
Right. I thought you just did the Magic Johnson thing. You just keep stacks of cash in your bedroom.
I do, but
Yes.
I needed to lighten the load a little bit.
Don't we all?
The pillow was looking a little too obvious.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was getting a little bigger. Yeah, people was, in other words, anybody would walk in and say, "Oh, you got your money in there."
Yeah, except no one ever walks in.
No, it's true.
If anyone ever did, that's what they would say.
Yeah,
but
but
that
you don't
never
want the
happens.
cat to get at it either. She's
True.
She's pretty crafty.
She'll go out there, spend your money all day.
Oh, are you kidding me?
We got a great show for you today. Dave D'Onofrio of the New Hampshire Union Leader will be joining us here on the program. And gotta say, pretty dark day. We're 2 days away from my infamous quote of the turning point.
Oh, your turning point?
And
It was a turning point for Clay Buchholz.
We've had yes, it was a very nice pitching performance.
I mean, it
for
was a
him.
great pitching performance by Buchholz.
It was.
He did fine. It looks like that was his best of the year, wasn't it?
Yes, I'd say it was.
Looks like he's turned the corner. You're all set.
Sure.
You'll take off anytime soon.
Any day now.
Any day now, you'll take off.
We are 2 games
Can
into
you
a
imagine if
series.
the Cubs sweep you?
We're in two games into a series with the Chicago Cubs, Tom, and the 2 highlights of this series so far have been breaking up a no-hitter and David Ortiz walking to first before before ball 4
I
came
didn't
in.
see that.
Did you
No,
see that?
no,
It
I
was
didn't see
hilarious, actually. It was very, very
Who
funny.
goes tonight?
Tonight, I don't even care. I mean, it's like at this point, like what? Who
So
gives?
I lost another 1-run game to the Devil Rays.
I know, it's,
and a team that all of a sudden couldn't pitch. Now they can't hit.
Right. Brandon Workman pitching tonight.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, you'll beat the Cubs.
Going up against Travis Wood. Tom, it was freaking, what's his name yesterday?
You'll be fine.
For the Cubs, Edwin Jackson, who sucks. They couldn't do anything.
Look, if you get swept by the Cubs, that could be a turning point.
I think having lost this series already is the turning
That
point.
could be a turning point in the other direction.
In fact,
all right?
Tom King, I think I'm ready to say it.
you gonna raise the white flag
I
now?
think this season's over.
Oh, now I'm
I
I'm
think
nervous.
this season is
See,
over.
Now I'm nervous.
OVA, OVA.
Yeah, now no, hey, you got to put an H in the end of that.
OVAH.
Yeah,
OVA.
Yep.
That's what it is. I think this is over. If you cannot squeeze more than 1 run in 18 innings against the freaking Cubs, what are we doing here? I mean, this is like, and for everybody who said, "Oh, I can't wait for soccer to be over," as stupid World Cup, will it just be over already? It's over. Okay, it's over, everyone. You got Red Sox for the rest of the summer. Have fun.
I know, no kidding. Patriots training
Jeez.
camp starts the end of this month, though.
That's
We're
true.
in a Patriots month, at least.
Yeah, we'll get to
All right.
talk about all the conditioning drills and.
Well, there's a lot to talk about today. There's a lot of NHL moves that were made.
That's true.
A little ridiculous moves. Some of them, the money, it was unbelievable.
Some of them I
Right.
cannot believe.
And this U.S. soccer thing.
Mm-hmm.
Great game yesterday. Valiant effort with the teenager coming off the bench and scoring a goal.
Yeah.
To basically make everybody feel good. But that's about what it was.
Pretty much. They were overmatched.
Let's not say that U.S. soccer has made these great strides, because they finished in the same spot they were the last time.
True.
And it's not.
They didn't embarrass themselves.
No. They
Right.
did okay. They did fine.
Sure.
But they're leveled off. They're at a level right now.
You think this is the best they'll ever be?
Well, that's the thing, is maybe they'll be better the next time. But
I'd
right
imagine they would be.
But you don't know that, because this is where they were the last time.
True.
All right. They made the quarters in 2002.
Mm-hmm. Did they come out of a very difficult group like that, though? No.
Well, they only won 1 game.
True.
Through it the whole time they were there. So they won 1 game.
That's the way the tournament works.
I know.
mean,
So they won 1 game, and that's it. Bing.
Right.
That's great. All right. The thing is
they tied 1, they lost 1-1-0, and they lost 1-2-1. It's not like they got blown out of any of them.
No, it's not. But it's not. But everybody's saying, "Oh, what a great! They made great strides." U.S.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. How about this? John Powers today, and I know John. John's a great writer and a really great guy.
Mm-hmm.
He writes that this was the most dramatic effort by a U.S. national team since 1980.
Really?
Are you kidding me?
The U.S. even have a team in 1980?
No, I'm talking about he's equating what happened yesterday.
In all sports.
No, he's equating what happened yesterday
To Lake Placid.
for a U.S. national team to the U.S. Olympic hockey team in 1980.
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
Hey, now.
Let's pull back the reins a little bit there, Johnny boy.
Yeah, maybe pump the brakes a little bit there.
Oh, yeah.
Make
come
sure
on.
the brakes are working and pump them a little
I
bit.
mean, come on now.
Don't want to get pulled over this weekend.
Do you see what, Christian, this is my point. Do you see what I mean here? Do you see what I mean with all this, the soccer get carried away? This is that was a perfect example of it.
That one is an example of one guy
it's just
going a little overboard
it's just
about
an example of a lot of overboard.
Okay.
It really is. So
well, if a lot of people are going overboard, more so than they were 4 years ago, how is that not progress, I guess?
Because they're all going to come underboard very quickly.
Okay, fine. But even if that's true, I mean, you look around the country, and I actually did this. I looked at some of the numbers. I keep talking about the Seattle Sounders when I make my reference to how popular soccer is.
There's probably other teams that are doing just as well.
No, there aren't, actually.
Oh, really?
The Sounders
okay.
are number one. They average 44,000 fans a game.
That's great.
And that's far and away the best.
That's great.
Some of the other places...
tucked up in a little unknown corner of the country.
Yeah, Seattle is so unknown. Come on. I mean, it's like, let's not act like Seattle's not a big city. It is, but that's not even the point, really. I mean, the point is, yes, they are far and away ahead of everybody else. But if you look at some of the figures in some of these other places, I got news for you, Tom King. In some of these cities, MLS is outperforming some of the other major sports, and that's not me saying they're being hopeful or anything like that.
Well, let's see what the numbers say. I want to hear them.
That is, sorry, that's actually the truth. Now, let me grab the, all right, by rank by metro area. This is up until last year. So we're taking all of these numbers into consideration.
Not including this season.
Not including this season and the push we're getting that they supposedly, I think anyway, you don't think, but I think that they'll get from the World Cup.
Oh, no, I think they'll get an immediate push.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is it's not going to last 4 years. It's going to tail off.
The Portland Timbers
in
Oregon.
Same area.
Outdraw the Trailblazers.
Same area.
20,000 to 19,000.
Well, wait a minute now. All right. How much does the Trailblazers seat?
I have no idea.
They don't seat more than 19,000.
Maybe that's true, but 20,000 soccer fans still come to those games. I mean,
that's fine. What are they getting? What are they getting in Gillette? They get about 15 to 20?
In Gillette, it is. Hold on, I'll get to that in a second. But let me just do the rest of these.
Okay.
Salt Lake City, Real Salt Lake outdraws the Jazz.
By how much?
By 1,000. On average, or a little less than that, maybe like 7,000.
Okay.
In Columbus, Ohio, the Columbus Crew outdraw the Columbus Blue Jackets, 16,000 to 14,000. I believe the Blue Jackets could probably fit 16,000 in there. In Seattle, Washington, of course, the Seahawks are number one at 68,000. They average sellouts all the time. The Sounders are second at 44,000. The Mariners, 21,000. Los Angeles, California, the LA Galaxy at 22,000 average fans per game outdraw the Clippers, the Lakers, the Kings, and the Ducks. Okay? So, I mean, I'm not making this up here. I'm not trying to exaggerate or anything like that. In Houston, the Dynamo outdraw the Rockets. In Philadelphia, the Union outdraw the 76ers.
They play in bigger venues.
In Dallas, the FC Dallas outdraws the Stars.
They play in bigger venues.
I don't know that for sure.
Oh, I know that for sure.
Do you know that for sure?
Oh, yeah. The stadiums seat much more than
even if that's true.
NHL arenas.
Even if that's true.
They sell out in those cities. It's very good. I'm glad about that. That's good.
Right.
How much nationally do you see? Does the world stop for the MLS championship?
No, it definitely doesn't.
No, okay. There's my point.
But I didn't say it did.
No.
I'm saying that it's getting there.
It won't.
It won't ever get there.
It won't.
Ever.
The MLS has been around for a long time.
I know.
It was more popular when it started than it is now.
I'm not sure about that.
I think it was. There was a lot more. ABC had a national television contract to televise.
They still have contracts.
Does everybody watch it?
I mean, no, not a lot of TV and radio, but people come out to the games.
It's not going to watch. Yeah, people come out to the games in those communities. All right.
Well, L.A., I mean...
Well, LA, what does L.A. have?
L.A., Houston,
what do
Dallas.
They have? What do they have
They have
outdoors?
the Clippers, the Lakers, the Kings, and the Ducks. I mean, I'm saying they outdraw
those
them.
venues are basically the size of those venues.
Okay. But I'm saying there's still fans who will come to the game. There's interest in these games. 22,000 people averaging in Los Angeles.
In select cities in the country.
Plenty of other things to do in Los Angeles.
Select cities in the country. Now, right now, do they think they outdraw the Dodgers or Anaheim?
No, they don't draw
right.
the Dodgers or the Angels. No.
Right. Exactly.
Dodgers average 46,000 and the Angels 37,000. The Galaxy's at 22,000.
I would expect a soccer team in California to outdraw an NHL team. I would.
And an NBA team?
The NBA,
both NBA teams?
Both NBA teams, that's questionable. But the Lakers, at the way they play right now, Yes.
How about the Clippers?
Clippers? That would be questionable. All right, that would be one that I would look at.
22,000 and 19,000.
Right, but that's.
And I know that it's difference in the venues.
It's venues. I mean, 22,000 is what I expect to see at an MLS soccer game.
And you don't think it's going to get any better than this?
No, if they start
You
drawing
think it's
40,000,
plateaued and that's going to stop?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, I disagree. I just think that, I mean, look at what you saw across the country these past couple of weeks, Tom. I mean, tens of thousands of people came out to watch these games.
It's a fad every 4 years. It's artificial.
No, 4 years ago, people weren't doing that.
4 years ago.
4 years ago, you did not have thousands and thousands of people flooding city squares and watching the games on big projectors.
We'll see how things go.
You didn't see that, did you?
We'll see how things go. Right.
Did you see that 4 years ago?
Well, I don't remember 4 years ago.
Did you see it 8 years ago? I mean, did you see it in 02? 2002.
I bet in 02 you did if they made the quarterfinals.
In 2002, it was very soon after 9/11. Everyone was feeling very patriotic, and I guarantee you that the numbers on TV, and that's, by the way, when you talk about the TV ratings, you're not counting all the people who watch it in bars and in town squares and all
that's
those
where
things.
A lot of people are watching.
Exactly, and the numbers are still very good in people's homes. So I'm saying it's not just these fair weather fans going out into to the bars and going to the town squares. People are watching it on TV in their homes.
Let's see what happens when the MLS starts their playoffs. If anybody really knows, generally around the country. All right?
This year?
Let's see.
I'm not sure that this year it's going to happen.
And I'm not sure next year it's going to happen or the year after.
Maybe not. But
if it doesn't happen, look, if it doesn't happen this year, after all that. It's not going to happen.
What are you talking about?
After all this hype with the soccer now?
Then it'll never happen.
If it doesn't happen this year, it's not going to get hyped more for the following year.
No, but more fans have come to it and then continue to watch it. I don't understand how you don't get this.
I don't get it because it's not going to happen.
Because it hasn't happened in the past.
Right.
So it's not going to happen now.
It's a national trend.
Because everything's the same because old people don't like change.
Basically. Everybody loved TJ Sochi or whatever his name was.
TJ Oshie.
Oshie. In Sochi. Oshie in Sochi. Right.
And people still watch the NHL playoff. What does that mean?
It's just, it's a fad. All right? It's a fad.
It's a fad that's outdrawing NBA and NHL in certain cities.
It's a fad. It should. It's in bigger venues.
So? I thought no one cared about it.
No one does nationally.
Then why are the 22,000 people going to these LA Galaxy games?
Because they got nothing else to do.
Going to Seattle Sounders games.
Because they got nothing else to do.
They have nothing else to do in Los Angeles.
In select cities, all right, you are going to see soccer be popular. All right?
Okay.
Nationally, no one is going to flock to their TVs, the national audience, to watch the MLS. It's not going to happen.
Not this year. I don't.
And if it doesn't happen this year after this World Cup stuff, it's not going to happen next year.
That's not necessarily true. I think that interest has been building, and it's going to not just drop off completely. I don't think so. I think more people are into it than you were giving them credit for. More people are into the Premier League. More people are into these international leagues. It's not just the MLS. It's not, Tom. I'm not trying.
All right, we'll see how many people are sitting down on their Saturday night watching the Premier English Soccer
English
League.
Premier League is on American television.
Yes, it is, and I bet nobody watches it.
It does okay.
Oh, yeah, it does great.
I'm not saying it does great. It probably does about as well as an NHL regular season game.
I think that
when they get to the playoffs.
I don't think so.
All right, fine. I mean, you can hold
I
on
don't
to this
think
if
the
you
country.
want to.
I don't think the country.
So why this year? Why this year did more people come out to bars and public squares?
I think
why did they do that more than 4 years ago?
Because I think social media increased it a lot.
So social media has increased it a lot, but that's not going to increase the fandom any.
No, I don't think it will.
So that makes
you know why?
Little sense
Because
to
I
me.
don't think there's going to be a big. I mean, these MLS teams better get their marketing in gear to push off of this.
I'd agree.
Because if they don't, it's not going to happen.
You're right. I think that's very true. I think they have a real opportunity here to try and rein that in.
It's not going to happen.
But to just immediately dismiss it, like this hasn't been a lot of progress towards soccer becoming a popular sport.
Were we talking soccer before last week?
Of course not.
Okay, there we go. All right, next question.
What are you talking about?
There we go. All right.
There we go. What?
It's not a fact.
You're talking about what happened. You're not talking about what's gonna happen.
What I'm saying is this is temporary. This is a temporary boost that will not stand the test of time.
Okay, and what's the test of time to you?
The next 4 years.
So it'll never, ever happen?
I don't think so.
In the next 4 years, you don't think more people are going to come out and watch the games?
No, I don't think so.
Really?
No.
You think this was it? This is the most popular it's ever going to be in 2018 or whenever the next one is? You think less people are going to come out and watch Team USA?
This is it, unless it's
because that's hilarious.
Is it an Olympic sport?
Is soccer an Olympic sport?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't care about soccer. I'm not saying I'm one of these people. I'm just looking.
Right.
I'm just trying to get a
I'm
grasp
saying,
of what
I'm telling you is this is a big interest, fad, temporary, artificial in the World Cup. Everybody's exposed to soccer. They're watching it. They like it, but they don't like it. They're excited about it because it's a thing to do. It was a thing to do for a lot of people to go to these venues to watch.
It was a thing to do 4 years ago,
right?
And tens of thousands more people came out this year,
right?
Because they're just only interested in hanging out with their friends. You can hang out with your friends anywhere.
Tens of thousands of people came out to do this year. All right,
across the country.
Right. Now, will tens of thousands of people be in these city squares to watch MLS on TV?
What kind of ridiculous question is that?
I'm just curious.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Well, then what?
Well, everybody watched the Super Bowl. How come they're not watching a preseason game between the jerks and the schmucks? What's that? That doesn't make. That's not a comparable question, Tom.
Christian, this will not stand the test of time.
This is the Super Bowl of soccer right now.
It will not stand the test of time.
You can't compare the Super Bowl to the regular season of a lesser league. That's ridiculous.
This will not stand the test. Now, 4 years from now, they'll do it all over again. And there'll be interest 4 years from now. What I'm saying is...
And it'll be more than it was this year.
The interest is
it's
trending
trending
is
upwards.
A one-time thing, all right?
This level of interest, absolutely.
Soccer fan interest in this country will not last. It lasts on a national level. It does not last on a parochial level, all right? It doesn't last within the country, all right? They get excited for the Olympics.
It hasn't in the past.
They get excited for the Olympics. They get excited for the World Cup. They're not going to get excited for an MLS playoff championship game. They're not going to get excited for English Premier Soccer on TV. It's not going to happen.
Texters are getting into it right now.
I'm sure they are.
Yes, no more soccer to talk about. We can get back to the real good sports talk. Wait, you never did that in the first place. Never mind. Nice one, Texter. Good opening. Christian, you're proving Tom's point. Yesterday was the biggest game in U.S. soccer history, and you opened with the under 500 Red Sox. Got me there.
He does.
Can't wait to hear the rest of the World Cup breakdown. And soccer gets more people because the tickets to a game are around 13 cents. Real sports cost more to attend.
That is another factor.
It is.
It is a factor.
Sure.
Right. And it's
but
also,
because these other sports are horrifically overcharging their fans doesn't give the MLS any less merit, I don't think.
Here's the thing. How many people flock to their newspaper or go online to find out what the MLS standings are or find out what the scores are?
Fans of the MLS, I'd say probably 100%.
Right. And they're fans of the MLS, and they'll stay fans of the MLS, and that group will stay pretty much the same size. It's not going to get bigger.
You don't think it's going to get bigger?
I really don't.
You don't think something like the World Cup will get more people interested in this?
No, I don't.
I don't. I mean, maybe you haven't been around impressionable young people in a long time, Tom, but I mean, my God, what else could you possibly want? You've got 19 to 25-year-olds flooding these places.
Nationalism.
Nationalism.
It's called nationalism. They were rooting for their country.
Okay, so where was this in 2002 when everybody was more patriotic than they've ever been? It wasn't even close to what it was this year, Tom.
Right.
Not even close. Right. You don't remember. This is the first time I've ever seen people like this fill in entire stadiums and City Square and all these things to watch a game.
Social media, increased television coverage, because ESPN didn't go nuts like this on the World Cup.
No, well, ESPN didn't have the rights to it.
Right. So all of that stuff has brought this on. All right, now we see.
So what do you think came first, the interest? And then ESPN said, hey, this thing's really popular. Let's get this and let's do it.
I think the broadcast and the social media interest increased the fan participation.
Okay.
That's what I think.
But it did, and fans participated.
Right, and what I'm saying is that the World Cup's over for the U.S., it's not going to filter off into the other soccer areas. All right, it's not. Soccer in this country is a participatory sport, not a fan sport.
I agree with that.
Not a fan sport.
I agree with that.
And the fandom is not going to increase.
I think it will, though.
All right, well,
I agree with almost every point you've made except that last one. I don't think that soccer is a great TV sport. I think the game's kind of boring.
And I disagree that it's going to increase. It's not. I just don't think it will.
I think it already has increased, and it's going to continue to.
Okay.
That's my take on that. All right, 603-883-9900, your phone number, 883-9900.
I'll tell you who's going to increase is the marketing guy of that goalie for the U.S.
Yeah.
He is going to be a star.
What an unbelievable game he had.
Tim Howard is going to be a star.
Well, that's it. This is the end of his international. He's 35 years old. Next World Cup comes around, he's going to be 40. He's probably
Start
not
getting
playing.
those endorsements now, baby.
Exactly. 603-883-9900. Text in 50352. Christian and King just getting warmed up here on ESPN NHradio.com.
This 4th of July, please use caution, courtesy, common sense, and the big S. Sobriety behind the wheel. Vernondale Store is one of the oldest, continuously operating general stores in New Hampshire. Open 365 days a year to better serve you. Call 603-927-4256, 603-927-4256, and ask about their daily specials this summer. Visit VernondaleStore.com for more information. That's VernondaleStore.com. Remember, the name who cares, Vernondale Store, where they look forward to serving you.
CSA Graphics offers the best screen printing, embroidery, and promotional items in the area. Everything is done in-house, which allows CSA to make just one or thousands of items. Whether it's t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, or uniforms, CSA will increase your brand awareness and get the word out about your company. CSA Graphics considers customer service their top priority. Gary and his staff work directly with you to create your printed version in the most efficient and affordable manner possible.
Call CSA Graphics at 978-577-6427 or visit CSAGFX.com.
This is your NBC Sports Radio update.
A new coach for the Nets, who have reportedly replaced Jason Kidd with former Memphis head coach Lionel Hollins. Meanwhile, on day 2 of NBA free agency, a Texas two-step for Carmelo Anthony, who is set to meet today with the Rockets and the Mavs. And the Boston Celtics have given restricted free agent guard Avery Bradley a 4-year deal worth $32 million. Tennis today at Wimbledon. The run is done for defending champ Andy Murray, who was knocked out of the quarterfinals by Gregor Dimitrov, the first Bulgarian ever to reach the semis. And right now, the Joker, top seed Novak Djokovic, is down a set but leading in the 4th set against Marin Cilic. Wednesday baseball, the Blue Jays will go for the 2-game sweep of the Brew Crew, and the Rays will try to lower the broom in the Bronx. I'm Jeff Biggs, NBC Sports Radio.
Big data may be just another overused buzzword, but storing, sharing, protecting, and recovering big data is a big deal to companies, big or small. Barracuda Networks offers powerful, affordable, yet easy-to-implement solutions for data protection and disaster recovery, email archiving, file sharing, and e-signing, all designed to protect big data and simplify IT. For an online demo or to try any of our storage solutions risk-free for 30 days, visit barracuda.com/big data.
Summer's heat can be draining, especially on your vehicle's battery. And O'Reilly Auto Parts has the Superstart battery that's right for your vehicle. Rising temperatures shorten battery life and place added stress on one that's about to fail. Don't get caught in the summer's heat with a dead battery. Get your battery tested today free of charge at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Colin Cowherd.
Johnny has so little self-awareness that he is saying now that the Cleveland Browns asked him to go Unabomber, put on a hoodie, move to Montana, and live in a 9x12 shed. No, they didn't. The Cleveland Browns are not asking you to go into the witness protection program. They're just saying tone it down and grow up. You're going to be a face of a franchise guy. Johnny Manziel, and it's amazing to me how many people defend these guys. Well, what about Joe Namath? It was the 70s. I know Joe Namath well. Joe Namath I've done 3 different events with him. Joe will tell you he couldn't live today like he did in the 70s. He'll tell you that. Joe will say, you couldn't have done it today. He goes, I got away with stuff then I could never do now. And I wouldn't do now, and Joe will tell you this because it would put the team in a bad light. And if the owner of the Jets would have come to Joe and said, Joe, tone it down, Joe would have.
Attention homeowners. Quicken Loans has some important information regarding the U.S. government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. Nearly 3 million homeowners have already taken advantage of this money-saving program. But there are so many more of you who could be saving hundreds of dollars every month on your mortgage. It's simple and easy. If you're one of the millions yet to take advantage, call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to quickenloans.com.
Important terms and conditions apply. Call us for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Hurry into Lowe's for this week's great deals, including 10 to 30% off major appliances $3.99 and up. Plus, get 18 months special financing when you use your Lowe's consumer credit card. Stop into Lowe's for these and other savings to help you update your home and get ready for a much-deserved long weekend. Lowe's. Never stop improving. Offers valid 7/3 through 7/7. Exclusions apply. Purchases with a Lowe's consumer credit card subject to credit approval. See store or Lowe's.com for details.
You're listening to Southern New Hampshire's home for the Boston Red Sox, ESPN New Hampshire. Scores, standings, trades, and rumors. This is the ESPN New Hampshire Sports Center.
It was a heartbreaking defeat yesterday for the United States as they were eliminated from the World Cup by Belgium by way of a 2-1 defeat in extra period. In the loss, goalie Tim Howard had 16 saves, which is the most in a World Cup match in over 50 years. Howard says the team, despite the loss, played incredible.
We're just really proud of this group. The way we fought yesterday was incredible. We played 120 minutes, and the God's honest truth is I don't know if we could have given any more. And you guys know as well as I do, some days you don't win those games, but you can feel good about the performance.
The Boston Red Sox continue to struggle scoring runs as they lost to the Chicago Cubs 2-1 last night. The Red Sox have scored 2 or less runs in 12 of their last 17 games. The Sox and Cubs will battle again tonight. First pitch at 7:10, with pregame starting at 6:20 right here on ESPN New Hampshire. The New Hampshire Fisher Cats got back on track last night after they had their 6-game win streak snapped the night before. They beat the Reading Fighting Phils 6-2. Meanwhile, the Nashua Silver Knights went on the road and defeated the North Shore Navigators 3-1. And the Boston Celtics have agreed to terms with Avery Bradley, bringing the restricted free agent back on a 4-year deal. I'm Rich Flair, and the Sports Center Update has been brought to you by Apple Therapy. For better care for less, you can find them online at appletherapy.com.
Christian and King on ESPN New Hampshire, 603-883-9900.
603-883-9900, your phone number, 883-9900. Text in.
We're surrounded by aliens
50352. Why?
God almighty.
Well, who's an alien?
Flair thinks that Bradley's worth $8 million a year.
Did he say that?
Yeah. He's the best defender in the league. Really?
He's a very good defender.
He's a good defender. He's not an $8 million defender.
No.
If he was an $8 million defender, they would have finished 500 this year. Oh, for crying out loud.
I'm not sure that's true either, but
oh, God.
I'm surprised. I was surprised by the...
I'm going to have a heart attack before I'm 55. Before I turn 55 later this month, I'm going to have a heart attack.
Well, fingers crossed.
I go to a bank to get a simple transaction done. It takes 5 people and 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes.
15 to 20 minutes to do a deposit?
To do a deposit and cash 2 checks.
That shouldn't take that long.
All right.
How long was the line?
There was no line. I was the only one. I got, all of a sudden, I'm surrounded by Mr. Soccer, and now I got Avery Bradley worth $8 million a year. What is wrong with this universe?
I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Tom King, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back after this. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going here.
Oh, really? $8 million a year for Avery Bradley?
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's almost as crazy as the contracts that we saw in the NHL. That's crazier than the contracts we saw in the NHL.
I don't know if it's crazier than those. $8 million's not that much in the NBA. I mean, it's a lot. I think it's a lot for him.
A lot of your cap.
I was expecting him to get something more like 3 years, 18, something like that.
I'd say 3 years, 15.
3 years, 15,
$5
yeah.
million a year. Come on.
Closer to that,
please.
I thought maybe it was.
The qualifying offer was 3-something million, right?
3.58 million.
Yeah, all right. Give him another $1.5 million. Here, Avery, you're lucky you have a job. Goodbye.
Well, I don't know about that. I think he is a guy who's going to get a job somewhere else. Philadelphia made a qualifying offer. I'm sure other teams are probably inquiring about him. And I do think that he is a valuable player on a better team than the Celtics.
I agree. He's got value, but he doesn't have $8 million a year value on that team.
Not on that team.
No
way. Not on that team. And that's sort of what you have to do, how you have to do this. Now, if they want Avery Bradley to be part of the future and they've got
They obviously do.
Big plans that involve him staying there, that's fine. But then you wonder, what could those plans be, and what do they mean for Rajon Rondo?
They don't involve Rajon Rondo.
They can't, right?
I don't see how.
You draft smart. You extend Bradley. What's wrong?
It's a team made up of small forward. It's a team made up of forwards and guards.
Yeah, power forwards and guards.
And guards.
Guards who can't shoot.
Right.
And power forwards who aren't all that powerful,
Right,
except for Jared Sullinger.
Sullinger, right.
He can get in there and bash on rebounds. But
I
other than that,
don't get it. I don't get it at all.
It's
this
curious.
Is a crazy world.
The curious case of the Boston Celtics.
This is just a crazy world.
Not quite as curious as what's going on in the NHL. With a salary cap going down, you'd expect people to maybe tighten up their purse strings a little bit, and they've done the exact opposite. I have no idea what led to this. I really don't know. I'm sitting here looking at some of these teams thinking, are these teams in so much trouble that they have to go out and sign a deal like this? And I have to think, no, I just don't understand. And I mean, some of these teams are bad, okay? I mean, we're talking about the Edmonton Oilers making terrible signings, the Buffalo Sabres making bad signings. But the Washington Capitals aren't horrible.
No, they're not what they were.
They're not what they were, but they're not bottom of the barrel, are they?
Their coach and GM. It's a new GM coming in here.
True.
With a new coach, making all these weird moves. And then the thing is the West got stronger, all right, because Colorado, they lose Stastny to his home. Stastny wanted to go home. He wanted to go play for his hometown team, and the team his father played.
Stastny's a good player,
right?
too.
And he wanted to play in St. Louis. All right, so I give him that. Colorado gets Iginla. They didn't overpay for Iginla. But then all of a sudden you see these other moves that are made by other Western teams, and it's like, whoa.
Washington just missed the playoffs last year.
Yeah, I don't know.
3 points out of the playoffs.
Right, and the year before they got knocked out in the first round.
Right. But I'm just saying, they're not the Islanders or the Sabres or the Florida Panthers or a team like that.
No, they're not. But
That's
I mean,
all.
these contracts were ridiculous.
Yeah. Let's just
Chicago got stronger. They got Bridges as a number 2 center.
Right.
You know, the Rangers had to amnesty him because they couldn't afford to pay their other players.
Not a lot of money either. 1 year deal, $2 million.
Yeah, that's what he's worth.
Right.
And
Andre Mazzaros, remember him, Tom?
Yeah.
The guy that the Bruins picked up to add to their to fortify their defense going into the playoffs. Went to Buffalo 1 year, $4.125 million.
Whoa.
Yeah. Andre Mazzaros. That's where he went, and that's what he got paid. It's amazing. I mean, it really is. Not as amazing as Matt Niskanen. Matt Niskanen of the Pittsburgh Penguins is now a Washington Capital to the tune of 7 years, $5.75 million a year. That totals out to $40.25 million for Matt Niskanen, and that might not even be the worst contract given out by a defenseman, or given out to a defenseman by Washington.
They got the other Penguins defenseman too.
Brooks Orpik as well, yes. And that one, let's see, what did Orpik get? I can't find
5
Orpik's.
years, I think.
Hold on. Search by name. Let's see.
The older one got fewer years. Who's the older one?
Orpik got 5 years.
Yeah, there we go. He's old.
$5.5 million per year.
Right.
To go to Washington. So now,
it was unbelievable.
Yeah, it really was.
You know, I mean,
not even talking about Benny Pouliot, who got 5 years.
And look at all the players. And look at all the players in the Bruins could not do anything. They were basically, their hands were tied.
Were they in such bad trouble? I mean, is this speaking to Peter Chiarelli not managing the cap well? Is that why they were so far away from being able to do anything here while these other teams are throwing money around for subpar players? I mean, it's sort of like, well, everybody else is doing it, so we got to be doing something wrong.
You can't criticize the Bruins for doling bad money, good money after bad players. All right, so their problem is down the road.
Yeah,
and they have 4-point-something million in cap space, and part of the reason they might have even more cap space, but the contract that they signed Iginla to last year has a 2014-15 cap hit.
Right.
It carries over. So they have a cap hit for a player they don't have anymore, which is what you want to avoid in the NHL. But it was a very friendly deal. You know, it was a decent deal that they signed with Iginla. It made sense. It wasn't a bad deal last year. I don't think anybody criticized it.
The Iginla deal?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so either.
And to be honest, who else is out there that they would want? I mean, were they going to go after Vanek? I don't think so. They weren't going to pay that kind of money.
No. Vanek made 3 years, $19.5 million, which is 6.5, which is the second most out of any free agent that's made
with the Wild
annually behind Paul Stastny. He's making $7 a year. Dave
So
Bolland of Toronto,
signed
by Florida, 5 years, $27.5 million.
Really?
That's $5.5 million per year. Jaromir Jagr got a 1 year, $6 million deal from New Jersey, which is hilarious. Mike Camilleri of the Calgary Flames.
Former LA King, former Manchester Monarch.
Yeah, signed with New Jersey for 5 years, $25 million, five per year. Wow. Matt Molson.
Camilleri. I did a feature story on Camilleri. You know when I did it? 13 years ago.
Damn. 2001, really?
He's making that kind of money 13 years into his career?
Yeah. Amazing.
Oh, my God.
Kind of amazing.
Really ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Matt Molson of Minnesota. Pretty good player.
Yeah.
Signed by Buffalo. 5 years, 25 again.
Oh, it's Molson.
Yeah, it's Molson.
He's got the right name.
Sure. Anton Strawman. Strawman?
Yeah.
Rangers?
Yeah.
Signed away to Tampa Bay. 5 years, $4.5 million per year.
Yeah, they knew they were going to lose him.
You think he's worth that?
No.
Jonas Hiller, the goaltender. Signed away from Anaheim to Calgary for 2 years, $9 million, $4.5 per. Dan Boyle of the Islanders signed by the Rangers for 2 years, $4.5. Don't actually hate that.
That's not a bad move. They needed to get him. They needed to get somebody like him.
Yeah, Boyle's not bad. But that's one of the rare ones that you look at and say, okay, that's reasonable. Every single other one of these is just like you scratch your head
Ludicrous.
and say, what is going on
Ludicrous.
here?
Ludicrous deals.
UC Jokinen signed away from Pittsburgh to Florida for 4 years, $16 million. Are you kidding?
They fled they all fled the Penguins.
Well, they had to. I mean, the Penguins couldn't re-sign anybody. They're in the same boat that the Bruins are.
Right.
Except they have more guys to worry about, whose
Right.
contracts all were up at the same time and could only sign like 2.
The Bruins lose again. They lose depth, but they had enough depth to replace them. So they'll
Pouliot, though.
They'll be okay.
Pouliot.
That's just amazing.
What are you doing, Edmonton?
I don't know.
5 years, $20 million? You're investing in Benoit Pouliot? I mean, my God, that's just staggering.
Mm-hmm.
That's unbelievable. I don't even I don't know. I mean, if the Bruins signed Benoit Pouliot and then brought in an entirely new coach and general and everybody else and said, okay, here are the forwards. Where would you put?
Here's our marquee signing.
Pouliot would probably go on the fourth line. Third or fourth,
yeah.
No question. And he's getting paid top line, top 6. You know, top 6 forward money right there. That's unreal. Just absolutely astonishing.
I think there's an anticipation that the cap will go way up in the next 2 years. I think that's why some of these deals are done. But you know what?
Still, why tie up money in these bums?
See, here's the problem: is the out for all these deals is gone.
Yeah.
The amnesty clause is done after this year. This is the last year you can do that.
Very risky.
This is why the Rangers let Richards go. Otherwise, they would have been stuck with Richards on that cap till 2018 and 19.
Yeah,
they had to. They had no choice.
The Milwaukee Bucks are having a press conference to introduce Jason Kidd right now. And I can only imagine if you're watching this as a Brooklyn fan, this has to be a lot like what it resembled when Bill Belichick was first introduced with the Patriots to a Jets fan. I'm thinking. Although Belichick didn't have the one season in New York like Jason Kidd did, it's got to have sort of a similar feel, I think. Not that these two teams are rivals or anything either, but I mean, you have a coach here who was, I don't know if you're going to say he was going to be the savior or anything, but he was certainly a guy that Nets fans liked. Probably one of the best Nets players of all time, if not the best, who had 1 year where things didn't go great, but they weren't horrible either. I mean, he had his moments. And
he took them beyond where they were the previous year.
True, but
later.
The other players they had, I mean, you know.
Sure, no,
I think that had a lot to do with it, too.
I don't think he did that badly in New Jersey. I think he would have been fine there. But, I mean, he does in Milwaukee. I told you what's going to happen with him in Milwaukee. He's going to coach 1 year, and he's going to elevate himself to president. And the ownership is going to do it, let him do it, because they're his buddies. That's why he's there. That's why he went there.
That's unreal.
You know, so.
Smart move for him.
Oh, smart move for Jason.
Astonishingly stupid move by Milwaukee.
Perfect move for Jason Kidd.
I cannot believe it. Anyway, Lionel Hollins will get another chance. Get Lionel out there with the boys in Brooklyn.
Lionel Hollins was the guy that Billy King wanted to hire originally, and the Russian mafia told him no.
Right. Actually, they told him yet.
They told him yet, and
yet we want the kid.
Right.
Now
but
we
really,
don't want the kid to get the Lionel.
If you translate this, Niet could really stand for not yet. So now they have Hollins.
Right.
See what I mean?
Yes, that's what they meant by not yet. Not yet.
It works that way.
Very good. 603-883-9900,
now I'm
your
watching
phone
the
number.
Carmelo Anthony parade around the NBA. This is fun.
Yes.
Carmelo Anthony getting to kiss babies. And
both the Chicago Bulls and the Houston Rockets
be revered.
have had billboards constructed of
sure.
him wearing their jerseys and running down the court.
I'll have a billboard ready for Carmelo if he decides to go to one of those teams.
Really?
Oh, yeah, sure.
What's going to be on it? Picture of you pulling your pants down?
Yeah, read between the lines.
One of those? Yeah, that's a
One of
good one,
those.
too.
Yeah,
that one worked
exactly.
great in 6th grade.
Right.
603-883-9900.
And it works great now.
That is your phone number. Text in 50352. Once Tom's done reading between the lines, we got some notes from the kingdom for you coming up next.
Hey, Lynn, how are you?
Great. It's been a while. You look good.
Thanks. Hey, can you tell? I knocked off a few pounds recently.
Yeah, I mean, you really look good.
Well, I can't take all the credit. I owe it to Dr. Waldman and his cool sculpting.
Who?
Dr. Waldman. He's right on Riverside Street in Nashua. I'm telling you, I never had a hard time with my appearance. I work out, I eat healthy, but I just couldn't get rid of these love handles until I had cool sculpting at Dr. Waldman's.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of Dr. Waldman and the new cool sculpting. The entire staff there's great. They'll sit down with you and consult on exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah, they made my cool sculpting experience comfortable and safe. No incisions, no downtime. Plus, I was back at the gym the same night.
And I must say, I like what I see.
Well, then I'll see you for dinner.
Absolutely.
Waldman Plastic Surgery and Dermatology on Riverside Street in Nashua. Make sure to mention this ESPN New Hampshire ad to get a free cool sculpting consultation with Dr. Waldman. Call 603-577-5559 or visit them online at waldmanplasticsurgeryanddermatology.com. That's waldmanplasticsurgeryanddermatology.com.
The Nashua Silver Knights offer the best baseball experience in all of New Hampshire. The tickets are cheap, there's plenty of food and drink available, and the kids absolutely love it. Come down Thursdays for Dollar Draft Nights, every Thursday night throughout the season. There's always fireworks on Friday, plus there's a kids zone and entertainment between innings. It really is a great place to watch a ball game this summer. For scheduling and more information, log on to NashuaSilverKnights.com.
There are leaf blowers, and then there are fuel-injected luxury leaf blowers. The Lincoln Certified Pre-Owned Autumn Event. Now get 0.9% APR, plus the confidence of a 6-year, 100,000-mile comprehensive warranty. Lincoln Certified Pre-Owned. Luxurious by any standards. Certified by ours. APR varies by term. Not all buyers will qualify for Lincoln Automotive Financial Services Limited Term Financing. Take delivery from dealer stock by 9/30/13. See dealer for limited warranty and complete details.
Wendy's presents Summer in a Bottle.
Wow, I just want to put this day in a bottle.
Been doing that for years. Here's 05, 07.
Okay. Do you ever capture summer in a bowl?
That's silly.
Not when it holds a fresh-made summer salad with sweet strawberries.
Listen, I'll trade you the summer in 98, which is primo, for that salad.
You know what? It's got a crack in it.
Well, it was a wild summer. Try Wendy's new strawberry-filled salad with sweet strawberries, crisp bacon, and warm grilled chicken on fresh greens.
Now that's better.
At participating Wendy's for a limited time.
Play ball! Gee!
What do you mean that was a strike? That was a ball!
That was a strike!
Ball!
Strike!
Ball!
Ball!
Ball?
That was a ball!
Well, you're the boss.
Not a good negotiator? At Peters Kia of Nashua, you don't have to be. Because at Peters Kia, you'll always get their best price the first time on all your favorite Kia models. See how much you'll save at Peters Kia of Nashua, home of the complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty.
Quiznos Subs in Nashua is now home to the new Southern Barbecue pulled pork subs. Slow roasted pulled pork, mozzarella and cheddar cheese, pickles, mustard, and Quiznos signature barbecue sauce served on your choice of artisan breads. Try the spicy pulled pork sub as well. Quiznos will also cater your graduation party or office meeting, or you can head down and park in their own parking lot, which is key at lunchtime.
Quiznos Subs, located at 290 Main Street in Nashua. Quiznos. Toasty.
You want sports? How about the Red Sox, Bruins, and Celtics? Hear them all right here on ESPN New Hampshire. Scores, standings, trades, and rumors. This is the ESPN New Hampshire Sports Center.
The Boston Red Sox continue to struggle scoring runs as they lost to the Chicago Cubs 2-1 last night. Clay Buchholz pitched well in his second straight start since coming off the disabled list. Manager John Farrell thought his pitcher had good stuff.
Well, this is the second straight start since being activated. He's pitched very well. Into the seventh inning with 1 run allowed, getting to a pitch count that he hasn't gotten to for the better part of this year. But I thought he had good stuff. Probably one of the better fastballs he's had the entire season.
The Sox and Cubs will battle again tonight. First pitch at 7:10 with pregame starting at 6:20 right here on ESPN New Hampshire. It was a heartbreaking defeat yesterday for the United States as they were eliminated from the World Cup by Belgium by way of a 2-1 defeat in the extra period. In the loss, goalie Tim Howard had 16 saves, which is the most in a World Cup match in over 50 years. The New Hampshire Fisher Cats got back on track last night after their 6-game win streak was snapped the night before. They beat the Reading Phils 6-2. Meanwhile, the Nashua Silver Knights went on the road and defeated the North Shore Navigators 3-1. And the Boston Celtics have agreed to terms with Avery Bradley, bringing the restricted free agent back on a 4-year deal, much to Tom King's dismay. I'm Rich Flair, and the Sports Center Update has been brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time.
This is the sports station with granite roots. This is ESPN New Hampshire. Christian and King.
603-883-9900, your phone number, 883-9900. Text in 50352. It's Christian and King.
Stop the insanity!
Taking you right up until 3 p.m. What was insane then?
Everything.
Everything's insane? Maybe if everything's insane, Tom, you're the one who's insane.
It could be.
I think it is. You ready for notes?
I don't have much.
Okay.
Message for you, son. King in the castle, king in the castle.
Notes from the kingdom.
Pool was very refreshing yesterday.
That is a good note.
That's a note.
Good note.
Silver Knights win down at Lynn. It's the last game that they will play against the North Shore Navigators this year. And it's only July 2nd.
Should we have a moment of silence?
3rd. The reason is the divisional setup. Because Nationals in the West Division and North Shore's in the East Division. So they won 3-1. I believe Sean Heidi got the win. And Carson Helms had 2 hits. Matt Sanchez keeps his on-base streak alive at 22 games.
All right.
As the Silver Knights are now 11-11, but they got to break out of this soon. They got to get it on a run. Otherwise, you're going to be mired in mediocrity for the rest of the summer.
And we already have one team that's mired in
mediocrity.
mediocrity.
Well,
for the
they're
whole
below
summer.
mediocre right now, don't you?
Not yes, I do think that, actually.
Yeah, they're what are they, 8 games below 500?
Yeah.
That's not mediocre.
8 below.
That's bad. That's not mediocre. They're below mediocrity.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that is the case for the Nashua Silver Knights. And they will now, they play tonight. I don't know who they play, but they are at home, 7 o'clock. They are at home tomorrow night, weather permitting, because we don't know what this storm is going to do. This tropical storm that, what's his name? Arthur? Is that his name?
Old Artie.
We don't know what Artie's up to, you know? So Artie may be playing games with us, or there's some cold front that's coming through at the same time, all that stuff.
Just in time for the long weekend.
But see, the thing is Silver Knights really want that game to be played tomorrow night and play dry.
Yeah.
Because it's a big night for them, because that's their 4th of July celebration. It's their fireworks, post-game fireworks, and everything else. So that's
going to be some soggy fireworks, unfortunately. I have a bad feeling.
My feeling is if it's going to be that soggy, they ain't playing.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. That's tomorrow night. Tonight they got a game at 7:05 as well. It's supposed to be questionable weather for that too, but right now it's beautiful out.
Very good.
It's beautiful 3 days. It really has.
It has.
Yep.
Most definitely.
Except
And we've all enjoyed staring out the window, waiting for the long weekend, knowing that it's about to start raining as soon as we're all out.
I'm starting a vacation.
I know you are.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Weather was beautiful in Denver.
I don't care.
Is that it? I got a couple.
That's it.
I got a couple notes here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Canopy Lake Park patrons can feel a little bit safer today, as the family. Remember the Vermont family that showed up at Canopy Lake with knives and threw a big fit when they weren't allowed into the park with their knives? Do you remember this?
No.
Okay, so this happened a while ago, a couple weeks ago. A family of, I think, 4, mother, father, and 2 sons, all tried to enter Canopy Lake Park with these big knives, like hunting knives, on their person. And the people at Canopy Lake Park said, no, you can't do that here. This is a park for young children, and you can't have weapons. And he said, well, I thought this was America. And they said, well, no, you gotta leave.
Right.
And then they had a big standoff outside with these armed lunatics from Vermont and the security staff of Canopy Lake Park, which I'm sure was quite a scene. Anyways, 3 members of a Vermont family are now facing possible indictment for causing a riot at Canopy Lake Park last month when they scuffled with police. Defense lawyers argued in 10th Circuit Court Salem Division there was not enough evidence to support the charges, but a circuit court judge yesterday disagreed, saying he was troubled that the father and his two sons decided to fight with police while families and children and strollers were passing by. Quote, if each of them simply walked away that day, this was totally unnecessary and would not have happened. The case is against E. Allen Perry, 45, of Leiden, Vermont, and his two sons, Joshua of Sutton and Brian of Lindenville, will now be bound over to Rockingham County Superior Court for possible indictment. The trio remain held on $10,000 cash bail at the Rockingham County Jail. Yes. After the defense argued for lower bail, police arrested 5 family members in total. That's almost the entire Brady bunch right there.
You know why they're still in jail is because word hasn't really reached Vermont yet that they're there.
Right, exactly. Security footage. This is the best part.
Get their country folk friend to come down and bail them out.
Yeah, right. Security footage of the tussle was scrutinized by defense lawyers during the 4-hour hearing. One of the officers injured during the fracas testified that Perry demanded a refund for his admission ticket and refused to leave the park after being told to put a knife he was carrying back in his car. A park staffer had given Perry a business card to call about a refund at a later time. Even though Perry was told to leave the park entrance repeatedly, he was adamant that he had to get his money back. The son was also told to leave or be arrested when he swore at officers dealing with the father. Kelly then told Josh Perry that he was being placed under arrest for refusing to leave. The father stepped over and confronted the officer about arresting his son. And while that happened, the other son grabbed the cop by the waist along with the officer's utility belt, which held the gun and taser. All 3 men were subdued and taken into custody. Kelly said they had to put Josh Perry into a hip toss to get him into custody, but fell with him in the process, injuring his shoulder. Public defender Jim Rice suggested that his client may have been trying to protect his son and not interfering with the arrest. Let's just put it this way.
This is going to get tangled up in some courts.
It gets real serious at Canopy Lake Park in the streets these days.
Well, here's the thing. Did they just ask them to bring the knives and put them back in their car?
I believe they did, yeah.
And did they say no?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
I mean, that's the thing. Is if all they had to do was tell them, look, you can't come into the park with knives. Take them, put them back in your car, and we'll let you in.
Right. And he said, no, I want my money back.
Right. He just should have said, okay, we'll be right back.
Well, he did. He said, here's your card, and they call and we'll give you a refund, and do it later. And he said, no, I want my money back now.
Right.
Which, if you try to enter an amusement park with a knife, I don't think you should get your money back.
Well, I'm just,
I think you should, the 30 or 4, however much money it costs to go to Canopy Lake Park, I don't even know. The money you lose should be the lesson that you learn.
Oh,
there.
I think so, too.
That is now $40, however much money you'll never get back now, and now you know you can't do this, okay?
I mean, they could have just
It's like teaching a small child.
Yeah, they could have gone back. Well, that's what you do to me every day. So.
I hope those people are never allowed in Canopy Lake Park ever again or in New Hampshire ever again. Stay in Vermont. Don't come over here with your freaking knives, you weirdos.
They don't want me in Vermont.
No. They don't want you at Canopy Lake Park either.
No. I've been at Canopy Lake Park.
Another thing, for all of you boaters,
I wreak havoc on those old time cars.
Yeah, I bet, and on the chicken ride too. You and Zdeno Chara.
I don't do the chicken ride. I do the
you don't?
Caterpillar.
No, the chicken ride's the best.
What's the chicken ride?
The chicken ride is when you sit in the small chicken and then it swings you around.
No, see, swinging around with me. You swing around. I swing around for the next 24 hours in my head.
Ah,
motion sickness.
Yeah. Do you puke?
Equilibrium, all that stuff.
You ever puked on a ride before?
I don't think so.
Good.
No.
Well, maybe that could be the first. Anyways, one more note, and that is for everybody heading up to the Lakes region for the 4th, and I know that means most of you, or people who happen to be driving by on their way up there right now. Loons are hatching on New Hampshire's lakes, people.
What's a loon?
A loon is a bird. It is a duck-like bird that actually can't walk on land. All it does is swim and fly. And they're all over Winnipesaukee, and I know they're on some of the other lakes too. They're on, I think Wakawan's got some loons. And there's some places where it's like loon estuaries, like places on the lake where they breed them there and, sort of have these little loon farms. Anyways, biologists say people should stay at least 150 feet away from adult loons and their chicks. Boat collisions are the greatest human-related cause of loon mortality and the 3rd highest cause of adult loon mortality, followed by lead poisoning or injured from fishing tackle. So if you're up there and you see a weird little black bird with a white neck who's making a funny noise, that's why they're called loons. Loons are called loons because at night they go woo, and they sound like crazy people. Mm-hmm. They sound like a loony bin is nearby. It sounds like people screaming.
Kind of like those vagrant birds are out there.
Yes, very similar to that.
Hanging around my bird feeder when I had to get rid of it.
Yes, so Canopy Lake Park is free and clear of crazy Vermont rednecks, and watch out for the loons if you're up on the lake, and those are our notes from the kingdom. All right, 6:03.
On a national level, Jimmy Graham, arbitrator, ruled, declared tight end for franchise tag purposes.
Oh, really?
Yes, the NFLPA's response.
I bet it's not good.
The NFLPA will review With Jimmy Graham, the decision from arbitrator Stephen Burbank, which permits the player to be designated as a tight end for franchise tag purposes. We will advise Graham of his options and carefully determine the next steps in this matter. I like this next paragraph. We will also continue to assist Graham and his representation as necessary to help the player reach a fair long-term deal with the New Orleans Saints.
Okay.
That says a whole lot, doesn't it?
No.
No.
Doesn't say anything.
Right.
I do think Jimmy Graham's getting kind of screwed here, though.
I don't think so.
I do.
No.
Considering how many balls he catches, how important he is to that offense, just to be designated as a tight end, be arbitrarily.
It's his position.
It doesn't matter if it's his position.
It's his position.
Who gives a crap if it's his position?
Because it's my position.
All right, fine.
My position is that it's his position.
Okay, so just because it's his position,
I don't care how many balls he catches. He's a tight end.
So he should get paid less than a wide receiver who doesn't do even a fraction of what he does.
He's a tight end.
That's ridiculous. Tight ends have to do more than wide receivers. First of all, they also have to block.
Right, exactly.
And they have to go out and catch.
Right,
they should get paid more. That's the point.
Yeah, but that's not the issue.
What's the issue?
The issue is he's designated as a tight end because that's his position.
Right.
And he has to fall in the salary limitations of that in terms of the franchise tag, the top 5, average of the top 3 or whatever.
I know how that works, Tom.
Right, exactly.
I'm just saying it's ass backwards in this particular
Well,
instance.
if you can make the argument that they should pay tight ends more, but that's not the argument here. All right, that's not.
If he lines up wide, a wide receiver, most of his snaps, which he does, pay him as a wide receiver.
He's not a wide receiver, he's a tight end.
603
other wide receivers on the field.
9,900, yes, who don't catch nearly the balls that he does. 883-9900. Text in 50352. We're going back to Red Sox talk with Dave D'Onofrio, top of the hour. Keep it here.
Play ball!